Hi there everyone, welcome to Mindshop Studio. I'm Chris and we have another MicroBit lesson today, so let's get started. Today's lesson is called Keeping Score, and so what we're going to learn about today is how to use some of the game blocks. First, let's take a look at the answers for our quiz from the last lesson. So number one, all 10 blocks would repeat 10 times, which would give us 100 random plots. Number two, the A button will turn on all the LEDs, and then the B button will randomly turn on or off one LED, depending on if that LED is currently on or off. Number three, put a toggle block inside the repeat block for 10 cycles. Number four, add a pause block within the repeat block after the toggle. All right, why don't you go ahead and fire up your editor in your browser, go to makecode.microbit.org, and then follow along with me. Now today we're going to use blocks that are in the game menu, as I said. So why don't you go ahead and look at the game menu, or look here on the screen. The change score block will change the score by the value we put in the little space there. So if you put 1, every time it's activated, we add 1 to the score. We could put in 10, 20, 100, a million. Any number you want can be put in that block. Set score block allows us to set an initial score. Maybe we need to start at 0, maybe we want to start at 20, or maybe we want to jump the score in a certain way. Using the set score block will allow us to do that. And one important difference between change score and set score: change score triggers an animation where set score does not. And then this little circle score block allows us to use the current score as a variable. So in other words, we can take whatever the current score is and we can show the current score, or we could even do some math with it. You should remember that score is a system variable. It's built into the make block code, and we should not make another variable called score. So it's really good to keep those separate. If you want to make your own variable for tracking score, you should call it something different than score. All right, so now I want you to get a start block, and we're going to add a score block to that start block, and we're going to set the score to 0. This is how we initialize the score. And I think it's good coding habit to initialize your variables. So we've got our start block here. Go to game, find set score, and set score 0. Now let's get an on button A pressed block. We're going to add a change score by block, and we're going to change the score by 1. And then we can add a show number block. And then we will get a score block and put it in the show number. And so what this means is, first, we're changing the score every time we press the A button, and then we're showing what the new score is. So let's take a look. Okay, and there's that animation. And actually the animation is running. We're not even getting to see our score. So let's fix that by putting a pause. Let's pause for 0.2 of a second. Let's see if that is enough to let us see our score. There we go. Okay, so sometimes you gotta fix things. You know, that's, in my opinion, what coding is all about, is problem solving. So I had a problem where it wasn't working the way I wanted it to. I wanted it to show the score. It didn't show the score, so I fixed it. All right, let's go ahead and save this. We're going to call it keeper. It's a keeper. All right, now I've got a challenge for you. I want you to create a B button that has a different change score block. So when B is pressed, I want you to change the score by 2. I don't want you to show the score when the A button is pressed. We want to show the score when A and B buttons are pressed together. And then last, when the MicroBit is shaken, I want you to end the game. All right, why don't you go ahead and pause the video and do the challenge. Let's check that out. So A button, flash, B button, flash, A and B button, 3, B button, A, B button, 5. It works. Need an on shake. Game over. All right, so remember, the change score by block allows us to change the score by whatever value we put there. So if we change score by 1, we're adding 1 every time. We change score by 2, we add 2 every time, and so on and so on. Set score block allows us to set an initial score. We could actually have set this initial score to 3, and then whenever we press the A button, we add 1, I press AB, and now you see score is 4. So set score block allows you to set an initial score, or set, you could have somebody playing a game, maybe they have 100 points, but they do something bad, you can set their score back to like 5. I don't know. Score block allows us to use the current score of the game as a variable. And remember that score is a system variable. It's built into the make block code. We do not want to change, or we cannot change, the score variable, and we don't want to use score as a variable in our own code. It's quiz time! All right, take a look at these blocks and tell me, what do you think these blocks will do? And here are the questions for our quiz. What is the value of score after the A button is pressed? What is the value of score after the A button is pressed a second time and the B button is pressed once? How can you make the MicroBit show a score of 32? What happens when both A and B buttons are pressed together? And is it helpful to press the A and B buttons together when you're trying to reach the score 32? Well, everybody, that's our lesson today. I hope you enjoyed keeping score with us, and see you again. Thanks for joining us at Mind Shop Studio. Have a great day.